Okay, functions and data analysis fans, our topic for today is Unit 1-7, percent increase and decrease. Before we start, let me tell you your joke of the day. Why did the stadium get hot after the game? And the answer is because all of the fans left. Okay, so our two goals today, number one is to calculate a percent increase or decrease, and number two is to solve problems using percent increase or decrease. Now, before we start this, we're going to write down some terminology because there are some words that you'll see quite often that tell you whether something is going up, increasing, or decreasing. So some words for increase. So anything that's going to be going up. If you hear mark up, if something gets marked up, a price gets marked up. If something appreciates, that means it gains value. Appreciate is to gain value. We have increase. Now also when you calculate, say, a tax, that gets added on. A tip, from a restaurant, from a meal, you tip your waiter or waitress. Also interest. In your banking account, you earn interest in your savings account. All these things mean the price or the value or the number is going up. Okay? Now, going down, well, some words that mean that would be decrease. Mark down. When you go to the store and there's a markdown, that means that the price has dropped. Appreciate means to gain value. Depreciate means to lose value. Okay, if you have a sale, if you see a sign, something percent off, that's money that's being taken off of the price. Okay, so these are words that you'll see all the time when you talk about percents increasing and decreasing. All right, so let's look at some definitions. The definition of percent increase or decrease is just the amount of increase or decrease given as a percent of the original amount. The key is that it's a percent of the original amount. So if it's an increase, you take the percent of that amount, you add it on. If it's a decrease, you take the percent of the original amount, original is starting, and then you drop it, you subtract it. Number one, calculate the amount of increase or decrease for each situation. So if you have the number 80 and you increase it 25%, well, what we have to do is take the percent of 80. When you take the percent of a number, that means that we're going to multiply. So 25%, we write that as a decimal, 0.25. 25% of 80 is we multiply that. And you can take a calculator. So if we do 0.25 times 80, we get 20. So if we increase 25%, what we're actually increasing by is 20. So it's a 20 increase. Now that's the answer, but if you wanted to find, let's say this was the dollar amount and it increased 25%, what would be the new value? The new value would be to add 20 because it's increasing, and you would get 100. Part B, 140 decreased 60%. Well, let's change 60% to a decimal. So we slide the decimal 2 places to the left. So it's 0.60 or 0.6. 60% of 140 is we multiply these together. And we get 84. So 60% of 140 is 84. Now this is a decrease. So again, let's say the value of something was $140. It decreased 60%. So the new value, I would subtract 84 for a decrease, and that would give us 56. So what I'm doing down here in the second line, you don't really need to do this because they're not asking for the new value, but just thinking ahead, this is what we'll be doing today. 46 increased by 150%. 100% increase is where you double the value. So if we increase 150%, then we're going up more than twice this number. The decimal for 150% is 1.5. So 1.5 times 46. 150% of 46, we're going to multiply that. And let's see here. 69. The 69 is going to be the amount of increase. 69 increase, INC. Now again, if the value was 46 to start with, if we increase 150%, we're adding 69, and so the new value would be 115. So that would be the new value, whatever it is. It's really important that you put the decimal in the right place. So when you convert from a percent to a decimal, you have to shift it twice to the left. All right, let's do a problem here with money. An Amazon Echo costs about $100. If the price is increased 10%, what is the new price? What is the new price? What if the price is decreased 10%? Well, let's do it first for the increase. So if it's increased 10%, we need to take 10% of $100. Now we'll do that by going 0.10 as a decimal times 100, which is actually 10. So the increase would be $10. So the new value, if you were looking for it, would be 100 plus 10. And so the price would go up to $110. So we wouldn't want that. We don't want the price going up. So the new price is $110. So that will be your answer there. Now, let's say that they decrease the price 10%. So now we're going to take, again, 10%, 0.10 of 100. That's the original amount. So you always take the percentage of the original price. Again, that's $10. But this time it's a decrease. So the new price is you do 100, take the original, subtract the decrease, and what we get is $90. And that would be the new price after a 10% decrease. So obviously, if you're looking to buy an Amazon Echo, this is the one that we want. We want when the price is decreased or marked down or there's a sale, okay, 10% off. Let's take number 3. Ava buys necklaces at a wholesale cost of $48 each. She then marks up, that means the price goes up, marks up the price by 75% and sells the necklaces. So she buys them for $48, then she increases the price by 75% and she resells them. Sounds like a good business. So part A, what is the amount of the markup? Well, it's 75% of the original price, $48. So we would do 0.75 times 48, and what we'll get from that is $36. Now that's the markup. That's how much the price is going to increase. So what is the new selling price? It's the original 48 plus the amount of the markup, 36, and what we get is a new price, $84. So that is the new price. So Eva, she's making a really nice profit. Every time she sells a necklace, when she sells it, she's making $36 in profit. So this is the new price. This is how much she increases it. Okay, sounds like a pretty good deal there. All right, let's say number 4. Carlos buys a house for $200,000 and it appreciates. That means it increases 30% after 5 years. What is it now worth? So he buys for $200,000, the price goes up 30%, the value goes up. So what is it worth now? Well, we have to take 30% of $200,000. Now I'm writing this down, but you can go straight to the expression 0.30, that's 30%, times $200,000. Now if we multiply that out, .3 times 200,000, $60,000. Wow. $60,000. Now that's not the price, that's the appreciation, that's the increase. Okay, I'll draw a little up arrow there. That's how much the value of the house has gone up. So what is it now worth? Well, take the original 200,000, add the amount that it's appreciated, and what we got here, $260,000. That would be a good investment. If you buy real estate and it appreciates, now you're making money off of this. So he could resell it for $260,000. His profit would be $60,000. All right, let's take number 5. So a lot of this financial stuff that we're talking about, saving money and interest and appreciation in real estate and stock markets, you're dealing with this kind of stuff, percent increase, decrease. On average, a new car loses as much as 19% of its value in its first year of ownership. Now loses, that means it goes down. So if you buy a new car for $20,000, what will its value be after 1 year? After 1 year. Assume a 19% depreciation. Okay, so depreciation means it goes down. So it goes down 19%. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take 19%, 0.19, 19% of the original value of the car. The original value is $20,000. Percent of a number means we multiply. Now if you multiply that out, what you get is $3,800. That's how much the price or the value of the car has gone down. Now that's not the price of the car, it's not the value of the car, it's how much the value has decreased. So what will be the new value after 1 year? Take the original and subtract the decrease, the depreciation. Now you can obviously do a calculator, but if you want to kind of do the old school subtraction, 0, 0, that's 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, I borrowed a 1 there, so 9 minus 3 is 6. And I borrowed a 1, so it's $16,200. So the new value is $16,200. People will tell you that real estate can be a really good investment, that real estate typically goes up. Not always, but typically it'll go up. Cars are a terrible investment because cars depreciate very, very quickly. Now you need cars to get from one place to another, so most people have them because you have to have them, but you don't get a car as an investment. All right, let's stop the video there. Go ahead and flip it over and we'll do the other side.